Well, it's chore day today. Just a little chore day today, though. I've got a couple of trees I need to, well, one tree in particular I need to take down, and this one right here and this one right here. These aren't really big trees. I don't think they really count, but my problem is my chainsaw's been down for a while. It hasn't been working. Couldn't keep it running. I've tried numerous things, tried to fix it. There's not a lot that can go wrong with a chainsaw, but I just kind of put it away, kind of got tired of using it. And my wife went out and bought me a brand new chainsaw for my birthday a couple of months, or about a month ago actually. And I haven't got a chance to get it out and use it. So we've got a nice day out today. It's not too hot, not too cold, a little bit of breeze, but not cold really at all. So I get to get the chainsaw out, run the chainsaw today. There's always something nice about a new tool. And chainsaw is one of those things that, I can't get this open with my gloves on. There we go, good grief. Chainsaw is one of those things that, it's a need to have thing around. You don't need the absolute best chainsaw in the industry unless you're cutting wood all the time, which I'm not. But let me get this case out of the way. But she did go and buy me a pretty good chainsaw. This thing's got a metal, all metal all the way around, not plastic like my old one. It's a much nicer chainsaw than what I had before. So I'm gonna get this thing fired up and see what we can do here. Let's see, put some gas in it first. It's a 20-inch cut. That should be enough to do what I need to do. And put some bar oil in here. That's engine oil. Need to go find my bar oil. All right, so I'm going to be starting with just cleaning up these trees right here. These are trees I cut down a while back, but I haven't got the stumps out of the ground, so they continue to grow and shoot up. This stuff here is probably 15 feet tall or something like that, so I want to get it cleaned up before it gets too much bigger. Eventually I'm going to come back and get these stumps out of the ground, but that's a lot of work, and I just haven't got around to doing that yet. Let's see, is that in the ground? That's in the ground. So I'm going to start off, just clean these up a little bit, see if this saw will start up. Good sign. Barely missed the camera with that one. got some cleanup work to do, but take a little bit of a break. This that kills your forearms, you know, if you're not used to doing that, and I'm not used to doing it, so take a little bit of a break here real quick. I'm going to cut these bigger pieces down into logs about that long, so they can be used in a fireplace or, you know, wood burning stove or something like that. Stack them up somewhere. Like I said, let somebody come and get them if they want them, and clean all this mess up here. This brush, this little sticky stuff like this, I'll just cut into little pieces, throw on the burn pile back here and burn it whenever I have a day that's not too windy or anything. I do need to take down a tree over here, so let me take a break and grab a drink. We'll come back, we'll get this tree dropped. This is a little bit, it's not a huge tree, it's still not too tricky, but a little bit trickier than cutting these up. I'll show you a few tips that I've learned in cutting trees down with chainsaws, so be right back with you. This is a tree that I need to take out before it gets too much bigger. It's already pretty good size, not huge, so you know, it's attackable for me. I'm not an expert at cutting down trees, but I do know a few things, and this one's, I don't really want it to get too much bigger before I try to take it out. The problem I got is that I got a really tight spot right here. I can't really drop it that way because I think it's too tall and it's going to catch. Maybe not, maybe not. Let me look at this again. What I'm looking for, and you guys can't see it on camera, but you know, I've got these two big trees back behind it. I want to make sure the top of this tree doesn't catch in those if it falls that way. And then again, I don't know that that's that big a deal. It's probably better. If I try to drop it this way, I got fruit trees right here. It's a pretty narrow lane to drop it down. So I got to figure out where I want to put this tree before I even get going. Let me show you a couple of tricks I've learned about cutting trees down though. What you want to do is you want to cut a wedge in the tree, and I'll demonstrate this here in a minute so it'll make sense. The direction you want it to fall. And you can kind of guide that on your chainsaw. You should have these lines right here. So when I turn this thing sideways and I start to cut, I'm going to line that up with the direction I want the tree to fall, and that's where I'm going to cut my wedge in the tree, and then I'll come and back cut it to get it to fall that way. I'll show you that a little bit more in detail here in a minute. Let me figure out how I want to get this thing to fall though. Step back and look. I think I'm okay. I think I can drop it this direction. It gives me a little bit more. I mean, I don't care if it hits one of these trees necessarily. I just want to be safe. If it hits a tree, there's a chance it could bounce off and you know, fall somewhere else, but there's nothing over here for it to hurt, and I'll make sure I stay out of the way. So if it falls and lands that way a little bit or that way a little bit, it's not that big a deal. The only thing I'm concerned about is this one tree right here, this little tree. I don't know if you can see it. It's growing out over the top of that, so it'll definitely go right over that and fall on that, but I could take that tree out if I was concerned about it. I don't think I am. The worst it's going to do is, you know, make that tree fall this way or that way. And like I said, there's nothing over here for it to hurt. So I do have a grapevine attached to it. So I think I probably want to cut that off before, unless I can pull it out of the tree, which I can't. I'll cut this off before I get going on it. So let me get all set up here. I'll bring you back on camera and I'll show you what I'm talking about with cutting that wedge in that tree. All right, so again, I'm going to be dropping this tree that way. We're going to see how well I can do this because, again, I'm not an expert at this kind of stuff. This is not my forte. What I'm going to be starting, though, before I get on this, is I'm going to cut a wedge in this tree, 45-degree angles, well, yeah, probably about a 45-degree angle down and then in. Now, the important things about when you land this wedge in here, when you cut this wedge, the hawk's distracted me again. He landed on that limb up there when I looked up. Anyway, cut this wedge. I'm going to go about, I don't know, a third of the way of the end on the tree or something like that. This isn't a very big tree, so it's a little bit forgiving. Third of the way in and over. You want the wedge to meet. You want it to be a good, nice match in the tree. You know, so you're going to be looking at something, you know, level like that and a wedge cut in it kind of like that. And you want it to meet real well. You don't want it to be like this, where you have that long cut in, past it, and that, because the idea is we're going to leave a plank, but just a sliver of wood there that's uncut. I'll come back and back cut it from the other side. So hopefully this will kind of make sense. Let me get my wedge cut, and we'll go from there. We'll see. So hopefully you can see this. I got a pretty nice wedge cut in here. Maybe a little off of where I was wanting it, but I think it's pretty close. We'll see when it falls. And I don't have too far undercut. I don't have too far, this way cut. They match up. So hopefully that makes sense. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. Next thing is to come back here, and I'm going to cut right about level with that. Cut not all the way through though. I want to cut through to about that much of the tree left. What that does is that gives it a hinge to kind of rock back and forth on it, because it's got this wedge cut over here. It's going to rock that way, and it's going to fall that way. Now, catch my breath. If I were to, let's say I went too far in this way, and my straight cut was this, and my wedge came down and ended right there, well, then that gives it a little bit more room back here to rock on. It's going to hit right there before it falls, and it's going to want to twist the tree, throw it, who knows where it's going to land. So I'm going to back this camera up because I don't need the tree to fall on the camera if it does kick off one way or the other. And we'll see how well I do at cutting this straight across cut, this back cut, getting the tree to fall that way. But again, I'm only going to cut to right about there. Well, right about there. So that leaves about that much of the tree I'm not cutting. That's the hinge that's going to get it to rock and go, hopefully, fall that way. I did cut a little bit off, so it may go a little bit more this way than that way, but you guys get the idea. Let's get this tree cut. I was way off. It's going the wrong way. I didn't do a very good job. It's wanting to go that way. So, I got my cutoff is a problem. I didn't cut straight. So, this tree could come down just about any minute now. I think what I'll do is move a couple of things so I don't have to worry about it. Come on, Max. Come. Good boy. Make sure it doesn't fall on this. Yeah, I didn't do a very good job of lining up my back cut with my wedge. So this is more of an example of what not to do than what to do. It's probably going to fall right on top of my peach tree. I got to figure this out. I got to get my saw out of there somehow or another. See what I can do. So I did a terrible job. I did what you shouldn't do. Now I'm kind of stuck. The problem is that trees want to fall that way. I'm going to try to get it to fall a little bit more this way. Hopefully I can keep my old saw running long enough. Basically, I'm just going to do the same thing again. I'm going to do it up here higher and see if I can't get it to fall right through there. We're gonna see if that works. Oh, come on, saw, run. Yeah, my blade's loose. Uh-oh, there it goes. Right on top of my trees. That was the worst case scenario. Not the way I wanted it to work out at all. But you live and you learn, right? Didn't take out my peach tree, but tore up my pawpaw a little bit and one of my plum trees. Well, I gotta tighten up this chain, and this one here died on me, and not only that, but the chain's really dull, so it's going to get put back away. This is a great saw, it works really well. I just screwed up on cutting this tree down. I did a terrible job, but I'll show it to you guys anyway because, you know, I'm not perfect. I screw things up just like everybody else does. Usually I can drop a tree a little bit better than that. The important part, what happened was, you know, I got my wedge cut in the tree like so, and then when I cut uneven. So I cut, instead of meeting up to the wedge, let me turn this way, instead of meeting up to the wedge, I cut down like this at an angle. And there was a big gap right there, and that caused the tree to go the other direction instead of the way I wanted it to. So it's totally my fault. I just did a bad job of cutting. And now I got some cleanup work to do. Hopefully it didn't kill my other trees. It did do some damage, but hopefully it didn't kill them. Let me get this chain all tightened up. I'm gonna come back and cut this tree up a little bit, and then we'll be right back with you. Well, I guess that could have gone worse, but not a whole lot. The only reason I felt comfortable dropping that tree, like I said, I'm not an expert at it. I usually do a better job than that, but for some reason when I get on film to show somebody how to do something, I usually screw it up. Murphy's Law, I guess. But anyway, I know exactly what I did wrong. Totally my fault. I screwed it all up. But there wasn't anything really in the way. I mean, I think I may have destroyed my plum tree. I don't know. It's a young plum tree, so it's not a huge loss. I did some damage to my pawpaw tree for sure. Broke a couple of limbs off of it, but I don't think enough to really hurt the tree that much. So now it's just some cleanup work to do. Start out here at the end and just start cutting this stuff down and getting it cleaned up and getting it out of here. It's really not that much from here on out. Well, that's all done, and clearly dropping trees is not one of my strongest points. I need lots more practice. Oh, but you know, that's how you learn things. I knew it was in a place where, you know, no matter which way it went, it wasn't going to be the end of the world. So gave it a try. Probably what I should have done is made sure that I was completely level when I was cutting that back cut. I didn't do a good job of that. I didn't pay much attention. I just assumed I was, and I was, you know, off quite a bit, and that's why it fell the wrong way. I could go show you, but you're probably better off just looking up somebody else's video on how to actually drop a tree the right way. It would be more helpful. Didn't do too much damage to my trees. I broke off part of one of my plum trees and a couple of branches off my pawpaw tree back there, but it's not going to kill them. They're going to survive, so it's not the end of the world there. Got it all cleaned up, got a big burn pile I got to burn off now. A bunch of firewood stacked up behind me for somebody that needs it. I'm not sure who's going to get that yet. And I guess that's where we're at right now. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed my failure. I'm not afraid to show whenever I fail at something. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. I know there's lots of you out there who could do a lot better job than I could on that. And I will tell you, if it comes to a big tree or a tree that's in a spot where it's going to be like really tricky, I don't even mess with it. I let somebody else more experienced deal with it than me. But, you know, you learn with every failure, so it's part of life. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. As always, God bless.